Hey everybody, it is time to talk about Saliva PH, which is right here. And since we're talking reams, we need to make sure that we are looking at everything instead of just one factor because many times we can get caught up in this, okay, this is the problem, just focus on this. But we always want to take all the numbers and put them in the perspective here. But for saliva pH, we're looking here. And of course, first we're looking if all the numbers are not perfect. If any of these numbers are off, then this is not perfect. So we're going to drop down to the healing range, which means we want it to be somewhere between 6.2 and 6.6 in the healing range. And all of these numbers have an impact on the liver, so or on the saliva pH. So this is the first thing that I want to make sure before we get carried away here, that we understand the relationship. This is all about a relationship of these numbers, not just one. So we can get some information from one, but understand how they work together. So the sugars, for example, how does sugars impact the pH? If the pH of saliva is looking at the liver and digestion process, does sugar affect the digestion process and the liver? Well, yes, it does, because that is going to bring the oxygen levels into balance or out of balance. And you know that oxygen is one of the top 6 things that the liver needs. So if you want a good saliva number, these other numbers are all going to help or hurt the saliva number. So if it's not enough sugar, then the body doesn't have enough fuel or enough oxygen for the liver to work, so then it's not going to be able to do what it needs to do. If the saliva pH is way off, then the calciums are going to be off, which means the liver doesn't have the calcium in order to process this. And then you have the salts. This is your electricity. If your phone does not have enough electricity, it can't work very well. So if this is off, if it's too low, then your your pH is going to be affected by that. So you have to have all of these in perspective. If this is too high, for example, then you're going to burn out the liver where it can't function as well. You got to have water, which I need some water now. I love the smell of markers in the morning. You have the proteins here, the ureas. The liver has to process ureas. Now, what would happen if someone was eating a ton of garbage protein? Is that going to affect the pH? Yes, because things that aren't digested can turn into acids, which can affect the pH, trying to balance it. But it's also this overworked liver trying to digest things because there's just way too much stuff there. And so think about just your body in general. If you just go without any resources, you're going to crash, and then you're not going to be able to do anything. So if the liver is working really hard because we're dumping ridiculous amounts of excess processed sugar, ridiculous amounts of garbage protein, ridiculous amounts of sodium and other salt type things, that wears on the liver. So rather than just focusing on this one thing and we're going to take one pill and we're going to fix that, we always want to step back, step away from the numbers and look at all the numbers and see, how does this impact this? How does this impact this? How does this impact this? And vice versa. If the liver is sluggish, could that be causing the sugar number to be off? Or is it going to be harder to process proteins if the liver is sluggish? So you have to ask questions. You must ask questions. So I'm going to ask some questions because we want to know why. Instead of focusing on, oh, saliva pH is here, take this. That is adding this little pill and hoping that it fixes it. When in reality, the whole goal here is amazing health. The goal is not, let's just get the saliva there and you're fine. would you say that the average person has an excellent lifestyle or a lousy lifestyle? So if they have a lousy lifestyle and we add this one pill, suppose there was a magic pill for Saliva pH, you take one pill and it immediately transforms it to 6.4 where it needs to be. But they don't change their lifestyle. How long do you think that Saliva pH is going to stay there? It's not going to, because everything is cause and effect. Everything works together, interrelated from this pattern right here from my book, Choose Amazing Health, the 14 Musts. So I just want to go through these so you can see how do these impact Saliva pH. So the first one is amazing health is a choice. So do they believe health is genetic or not? Is there things they can do during the day that have any impact whatsoever on their health, or is everything genetic? See, your job is really to educate the client. Now, Reams can be a great tool to say, here's where your numbers are based on what you have done, your lifestyle that you have done over the last 20 years, 30 years, 2 weeks, whatever it is. You're showing the dashboard, here's the results of that lifestyle. And if we don't correct that lifestyle and we just add a pill, you're not going to correct the numbers. So our whole goal is to get them to amazing health, not a Saliva pH of 6.4. So make sure we understand what that true goal is. So it is a choice. They may still think it's hereditary, in which case that's going to affect the lifestyle changes that they're going to make. M is make it a must. How important is their health? If they don't really care, if they're looking for this silver bullet over here, then it's going to be really hard to move that Saliva pH because of all of these other problems that are having. So just as an example, we know that there could be a calcium deficiency here, but if we drink a ton of soda and we eat a bunch of cake, and over here we just eat nasty hormone injected antibiotic filled steak, just steak. How many pills is it going to take to fix that Saliva pH if that's what their lifestyle is? So we have to come back to all of this. So we got to decide, is it a must? Are we going to set up an automatic success system where we're making sure every day we're helping the body keep all these numbers in balance? Or are we just doing this over here? And that's our success system. Z before A, this is sleep. And if you're not sleeping, you got more toxins circulating all around. You have more stress going on. And stress is a huge factor here when it comes to Saliva pH. If these numbers are not moving from the physical changes that you're doing, chances are there's a spiritual or emotional issue involved. And there is no pill that is going to fix the spiritual or emotional issue. So we have to get good sleep, which helps the body detox, get rid of negative energy, and relax and get just sleep, repair, recuperate, maintenance. If you don't get enough sleep, if you don't get good quality sleep, then the body is drained. And the next night you don't get enough sleep, then it's drained. And I violate this one more than any of the other ones. So I know what that's like, and pretty soon it catches up with you, and then you have to do something about it. So definitely sleep is going to impact the Saliva pH. I is for ideal liquid. Water is going to impact your pH. The oxygen levels, the support for the liver and able to process things, the fact that all these toxins could be built up. If the saliva pH is sluggish, then that means there's more toxins built up, which means you need more water than normal to get rid of that junk. So water is one of the top 6 needs of the liver. So if you aren't getting that, well, I really don't want to do that because I want to take the pill over here, you're not going to get the results that you need. You have to have good H2O. In order for the liver to function or to get rid of toxins, you must have that. N is no rotten food. If you eat rotten food, the ridiculously portioned, over-processed, taste bud tickling, tainted with chemicals, empty, no expiration date food, that's what rotten stands for, you're going to keep making this a problem. That's why the pH started going in out of balance, whichever way it was, because we're feeding the body a bunch of junk. So you have to switch to melon foods, minimally processed, enzyme-rich, low glycemic, organic, non-GMO, nutrient-dense foods. So I use isogenics for that, for 2 meals a day. So many people don't want to they don't know how to eat good food, or they think, well, I buy produce at the grocery store. Yeah, good luck. It's probably more rotten than it is melon because it's empty. And we've just seen that time and time again where nutrition is lacking in the food. So I use the isogenics meal replacement, the true meal replacement ones that has the low glycemic and the proteins and amino acids and minerals and enzymes and all that stuff that you can live on literally, which I have for 2 meals a day for 3 years now, so I know it's different. But it's processable protein, not this ridiculous amount, not this just powdered multivitamin, but also the greens, the fruits, the bars, the snacks, all these things. You have to have food replacement that they can eat that is going to help, because if you don't replace the food, you're not going to fix this. If they just keep eating junk, it's just not going to work. So this is the most affordable solution that I have found. $3 for a meal, $3 for an organic meal. Find that anywhere else? I don't know of any. Get the bulls going. Now, if the pH is off, then if it's too slow, for example, then you're going to have a whole bunch of toxins stuck in the body. It's stuck. If it's too acidic, then you're not getting the nutrients that are going through. So we have to get the bulls going, the bowels, urinary, lungs, lymph, and skin, which of course, if you're getting the ideal water and melon foods and sleep, that's all going to help. But you want to make sure that it has fiber in it. And yes, the isogenics one does. That it has those essential fats and trace minerals, electrolytes, and all that. That's why I love that as the melon foods. But you're also going to need the calciums if you aren't using the isogenics foods, which generally bring things into balance on a physical level. Then you may have to add a calcium supplement, lactate or hydroxide, to do that. But you have to get the bulls going. So if they're not going, you need to start asking why. That is always the question you want to be asking over and over and over again, is why? Why is the saliva pH where it is? Why are they eating rotten food? Why aren't they drinking water? They don't understand the importance. They don't make it a must. Why? We have to educate and do that. So get the bulls going. Which there's isogenics has a great cleanse drink, non-laxative, non-stimulant. It cleanses at the cell level to get toxins out, especially if you've got the 5 avenues open. Next is Heavenly Health and Exceptional Perceptions. This is probably the root cause if someone is truly doing everything else, which is rare to find someone is really doing everything else. But if this is difficult to move, then you're going to look at emotions. What emotion is tied with the liver? That would be anger. What emotion is tied with the gallbladder? You have resentment. So you really want to ask some questions, and the spiritual balance as well. All this is a key factor. Now, it could be the energy that is locked there, energy blockage that's not allowing liver to function. Well, that's more down at total alignment. But we've got to get that stress level down. We've got to help their exceptional perceptions instead of just drama, stress. So yes, we can support the adrenals with adaptogens and so forth, and those are a part of the isogenics program. Not stimulate the adrenals, not force them to do stuff, but feed them, because we live in the stressed environment. But find out specifically what emotions they are dealing with, and that comes by asking questions thoroughly. Next is A, active, sweaty, fun. You've got to move. That helps with getting the bulls going because of the toxins in the lymphatic system and sweating out the junk and de-stressing the body. You decrease that stress when you're doing something active, sweaty, and fun. Now, if the pH is alkaline, then the active, sweaty, fun is even better, because that creates lactic acid, so that can help bring that down. If the saliva pH is too low, then we know we need B12, which you want to take it with all of the B vitamins, which actually in the sports line that Isogenics has, they have all the Bs together in their natural Gatorade one. So you're actually getting a double whammy here, that you're compounding the benefits. But we want to add the things that are going to help that saliva pH come up, which could be the greens, which I mentioned over here. We just want to get away from this pill over here and focus on what the real cause is. L is for life speed. We're talking about pH. That's that's keeping that in balance. You want to check that to make sure that that's not the cause. Sometimes this is causing this, sometimes this is causing this. The way you know that is by asking questions. How much sugar are they getting in their diet? If they're getting 0 sugar in their diet because they think sugar is bad, how's that going to impact the pH? It's going to impact it a lot because the body doesn't have the fuel. It doesn't have the carbohydrates needed to function. If they're getting way too much, then that's it. Now, if they're getting just about right, then this is more the problem than the sugar. So you just go through each one like that and ask questions about their intake. T is for total alignment, and I mentioned this for the energy balancing. If there's energy blockage there, emotionally, spiritually, or the spine and the back is pinching a nerve so the liver can't function properly, then you got to get that alignment. And there's no pill that is going to put your spine into alignment. It's just not there. You have to put that in alignment. Why guess when you can be sure? Get a therapeutic massage, get a professional chiropractor that knows what they're doing to make sure everything is in alignment. Do the energy balancing sequence. It's so powerful, so easy. You know, this one where you're just going through each one of these points here, that you're going to get that energy out, which helps everything else. H is for have a support team. You got to have that support team so that they're not out there on their own. Because if they're on their own, if you just send them home, okay, do some stuff, do things differently, it's just much harder when they're by themselves. So I love having a team where our entire focus is helping people with amazing health and just coordinating all of these components, because all of these are interrelated. There is never one thing that fixes one thing. It is always this team effort of all these components. So you can try and get pills for each one of these and try and get them to eat right, but they probably won't, or they'll choose empty foods and they're not going to get results. Or you can educate them on all of these factors and have options that you can give them a full program, simple, affordable, convenient, that addresses all these. That's where you're going to get the results, because our goal is amazing health. So there's more things you could learn about Saliva PH, but everything starts right here. And 99 times out of 100, when I'm working with clients, they're doing one thing. They decide, I'm just going to exercise, but they eat garbage, or they don't sleep, or they don't drink water. I just don't like drinking water, but I'll take a pill. What pill do you want? So they're always missing some of these components, and they want this to fix that, and it's not going to happen. I'm just here to tell you, it's a program, not a pill. So I hope that helps in your discussion of pH, and that you are ready to move forward and help educate your client on the cause and effect of pH and their lifestyle and how all these numbers work. So thanks, Chip, for setting up this round table, and post your questions and we will get to them as we can. Every day you have a choice. You can choose something average or you can choose something amazing, and I say choose amazing.